The story opens deep in the vast reaches of the galaxy, where a distant outpost picks up a faint, unusual signal. It's an SOS, an ancient universal distress call, originating from a remote and notoriously hostile planet known simply as Xyloxis. This planet has earned the dreaded classification of a deathworld due to its extreme environmental hazards. Savage storms that can tear through steel, poisonous air thick with unknown toxins, and ecosystems dominated by predators whose sheer brutality has wiped out entire colonies in the past. Most spacefarers avoid Xyloxis like the plague, yet despite the planet's lethal reputation, the SOS signal has stirred curiosity and concern. The Galactic Council, which governs interstellar law and peacekeeping, convenes an emergency session to discuss the signal. Many delegates argue it's a trap or a malfunction. After all, sending rescue missions to deathworlds often results in more casualties than survivors. The planet's hostile environment and lack of previous human or allied colonization raise serious doubts about the legitimacy of the distress call. Amid the political debate, the spotlight turns to a unique faction known as the Deathworlders, a legendary group of specialists trained to survive and operate in the galaxy's most perilous environments. These are not ordinary soldiers or diplomats. They are hardened survivalists, explorers, and warriors who have made a name for themselves by conquering what no one else dares to approach. Their expertise ranges from adapting to toxic atmospheres, to fighting deadly wildlife and thriving under brutal conditions. Commander Rhea Voss, the stoic and battle-hardened leader of the Deathworlders fleet, receives the official order to investigate the signal. She's a woman shaped by countless missions into deadly zones, known for her unshakable resolve and tactical brilliance. Alongside her is Kale Morin, a daring pilot with a reputation for navigating impossible terrains and pulling off impossible rescues, and Dr. Lysara Keen, a cautious but brilliant xenobiologist whose understanding of alien ecosystems is unmatched. Together, this team represents the best hope for uncovering the truth behind the SOS. As the Deathworlders fleet scrambles to prepare, the mood is tense. They must outfit their ships with specialized equipment designed to counter Xyloxis's extreme environment, atmospheric filters to combat toxic air, reinforced hulls to withstand brutal storms, and advanced scanners to detect both threats and potential survivors. Time is critical because the SOS is intermittent and growing weaker. There's a sense that whoever is calling for help may not last much longer. Meanwhile, tensions within the Galactic Council simmer. Some factions view the Deathworlders' intervention as reckless or politically motivated, suspecting they seek influence or resources on Xyloxis. Others fear provoking whatever enemy threatens the SOS senders. However, Rhea and her team are undeterred. They see the call as a moral imperative. No matter the risk, no signal from a sentient species should go unanswered. As the fleet launches, the narrative shifts to their journey through dangerous space corridors, where solar storms and gravitational anomalies challenge their progress. Through these trials, the personalities of the crew emerge, Kale's brash confidence balancing Lysara's cautious pragmatism, and Rhea's steady leadership holding them together. The story builds tension as the Deathworlders close in on Xyloxis, knowing that what they find could change the fate of many, including their own. This opening sets the stage for an intense, thrilling rescue mission, highlighting the mystery behind the SOS and the formidable challenges ahead. It establishes key characters, their motivations, and the complex political backdrop, blending adventure with suspense and the high stakes of interstellar survival. With the Deathworlders fleet now en route to the perilous planet Xyloxis, the tension aboard the flagship Vigilant is palpable. Commander Rhea Voss oversees the final preparations with her characteristic focus, knowing that every minute counts. The SOS signal, though faint, has been growing weaker, hinting that whoever sent it may be on the brink of disaster, or even extinction. The fleet is an impressive assembly of vessels specially modified for the hostile conditions they expect to face. Reinforced hulls glint under the harsh lights of the docking bay, and the atmosphere filtration systems hum quietly as engineers run last-minute diagnostics. Kale Morin, the fleet's ace pilot, runs simulations on atmospheric turbulence and extreme weather patterns predicted on Xyloxis. His confidence masks a deep concern. He knows firsthand that Deathworld conditions can quickly overwhelm even the best ships and crews. Meanwhile, Dr. Lysara Keen pores over the scant data collected from the SOS transmission. Though the message is encrypted and distorted, her xenobiological expertise allows her to identify several biological markers indicating an alien species of advanced intelligence. She also detects irregular energy signatures consistent with bioengineered technology, something potentially dangerous or experimental. Lysara's cautious nature compels her to warn Rhea that the SOS might be a cry from a civilization caught in an unnatural crisis, possibly involving weapons or environmental collapse. Back. At the Galactic Council, political debates escalate. Several factions view the Deathworlders' mission as a dangerous gamble. Some accuse them of overstepping their mandate, arguing that Xyloxis is too dangerous to risk resources and lives on an unknown alien species. Others speculate that the SOS could be a trap set by hostile forces seeking to lure Deathworlders into an ambush. Meanwhile, shadowy political players hint at bigger stakes, resources buried beneath the planet's surface or a strategic location that could shift galactic power balances. These undercurrents add urgency but also suspicion surrounding the mission. Despite the mounting pressure, Rhea remains resolute. Her fleet represents more than just a rescue team. They are symbols of hope for those trapped in the galaxy's most dangerous places. She rallies her crew with a clear message. They are the galaxy's last line of defense for those who cannot save themselves. Failure is not an option. As the fleet crosses into the Xyloxis system, space anomalies begin to disrupt their sensors. Gravitational waves ripple unpredictably, and solar flares erupt from the system's unstable star. These hazards slow their approach and threaten communication lines. Kyle's piloting skills are put to the test as he maneuvers through asteroid belts and magnetic storms. Each obstacle underscores how unforgiving this mission will be. The closer they get, the more fragmented and desperate the SOS signals become. The transmissions suggest the alien species is besieged by a powerful enemy, and that their world's ecosystem is collapsing under the strain. The Deathworlders realize they are not merely arriving for a rescue, but entering a planet-wide battle for survival. Tensions rise among the crew. Some question if the mission is worth the risk, while others prepare mentally for combat and survival in an environment more deadly than any they have faced before. Commander Rhea holds a briefing to outline their objectives. Locate the source of the SOS, establish contact with survivors, assess threats, and neutralize any dangers to secure evacuation. The stage is set for a dangerous descent to Xyloxis' surface. The fleet's journey becomes a race against time, both to save an alien civilization on the edge of extinction and to survive the planet's deadly environment. The combination of unknown enemies, extreme natural hazards, and political intrigue promises a mission fraught with peril and unexpected challenges. This part builds on the mystery and stakes introduced in Part 1, expanding the story's scope and tension. It deepens character dynamics and highlights the technical and emotional challenges faced by the Deathworlders as they hurtle toward the unknown. After navigating through treacherous space phenomena and braving political uncertainty, the Deathworlders' fleet finally arrives in orbit around Xyloxis, the notorious Deathworld from which the desperate SOS originated. The view from the flagship, Vigilant, is grim. A swirling, tempestuous planet dominated by violent storms and a landscape scarred by jagged mountains and toxic wastelands. The atmosphere's poisonous composition crackles faintly against the ship's reinforced shields, reminding everyone that this is not a place where ordinary missions succeed. Commander Rhea Voss holds a tense briefing with her core team, Kyle, Morin, the fleet's ace pilot, and Dr. Lysara Keen, the xenobiologist, alongside the squad leaders who will lead the surface operations. They have limited time and limited information. The SOS signal's origin is localized to a massive canyon system near the planet's equator, a harsh environment teeming with hostile wildlife and unstable terrain. Before any rescue can begin, the Deathworlders must contend with the planet itself. Deploying specially modified drop pods designed for Xyloxis's brutal environment, the Deathworlders' elite squads begin their descent. As the first pods pierce through the toxic clouds, the harsh conditions become immediately evident. Lightning bolts arc across the skies, winds howl with enough force to rip apart vehicles, and visibility is reduced to near zero by the thick, corrosive fog. Sensors detect massive creatures moving beneath the surface. Predators evolve to thrive in these lethal conditions. Once on the ground, the teams split to cover more territory. Kyle leads a reconnaissance squad using advanced hover vehicles, equipped for the planet's hazardous terrain. Lysera stays close to scientific teams, scanning flora and fauna for clues about the SOS senders and the broader ecological disruption. Meanwhile, Rhea coordinates with the fleet via encrypted comms, constantly adjusting mission parameters based on real-time data. As they push deeper into the canyon system, the Deathworlders uncover signs of the alien civilization responsible for the SOS. Unlike typical Deathworld inhabitants, these aliens are fragile-looking and technologically advanced, relying heavily on sophisticated shelters and life support systems. Their architecture is organic yet intricate, blending into the environment as if grown rather than built. It becomes clear these beings never intended to survive unaided on Xyloxis. They were forced into this hostile world, likely by conflict or displacement. Suddenly the squads come under attack. From the shadows of the canyon walls emerge predatory forces, large bioengineered creatures controlled by a hostile enemy faction that seems bent on eradicating the SOS senders. The Deathworlders' combat training shines as they engage in fierce skirmishes using guerrilla tactics and survival skills honed in countless harsh environments. Kale's piloting skills prove invaluable in air support, delivering precise strikes on the attackers while avoiding the planet's natural hazards. Amid the chaos, Lysera discovers troubling evidence. The planet's ecosystem is destabilizing rapidly. Toxic runoff from the bioengineered weapons deployed by the enemy is causing mass die-offs among native species and threatening to collapse the entire ecosystem. The alien civilization's technology, while advanced, is no match for this artificial weaponry. It becomes clear that saving the SOS senders will require not only rescue, but also neutralizing this environmental threat. The Deathworlders face a dual challenge: fight off relentless predator assaults while searching for a way to stop the bioengineered weapon that is poisoning the planet. The squads regroup at a temporary base established in a cavern system, where they analyze the alien technology and plan their next move. Morale is tested but strengthened by the sight of survivors who cling desperately to life and hope. Part 3 ends with a powerful sense of urgency and mounting danger. The Deathworlders must balance aggressive combat with careful scientific investigation. Their mission evolves from a simple rescue to a desperate battle for survival, both for the trapped alien civilization and for the Deathworlders themselves. The atmosphere on Xyloxis grows increasingly volatile as the Deathworlders' squads find themselves entrenched in a relentless struggle for survival. The hostile predators, bioengineered for maximum lethality by the enemy faction, relentlessly hunt the rescuers and the alien refugees alike. The planet itself seems determined to break their resolve. Toxic storms rage, the ground shakes from seismic tremors, and the thick, poisonous air challenges even the best filtration systems. Commander Rhea Voss remains the calm center of the storm, coordinating the fleet's operations both in orbit and on the planet's surface. Her strategic acumen is tested to the limit as she balances offensive strikes against the predator forces with protective maneuvers to shield the vulnerable alien survivors. The Deathworlders employ guerrilla tactics honed over years in Deathworld environments: hit-and-run assaults, ambushes, and clever use of terrain features like rocky outcrops and deep caverns to gain the upper hand. Kale Morin pilots close air support craft with breathtaking precision, weaving through the swirling storms to deliver laser strikes on enemy clusters and extraction points. His bold maneuvers keep the predator forces off balance and provide vital breathing room for ground teams. Kale's sharpshooting squad members complement his aerial assaults by taking out threats with advanced sniper rifles, engineered to work in the toxic atmosphere and shifting terrain. Dr. Lysara Keene works tirelessly alongside the alien scientists and engineers seeking to understand the bioengineered weapon destabilizing Xyloxis's ecosystem. The weapon's effects are devastating. Native plants and animals are dying at an alarming rate, rivers are becoming acidic, and pockets of the planet are becoming barren wastelands. Lysara's analysis reveals the weapon is a highly advanced, nanite swarm designed to terraform and sterilize the planet in preparation for hostile occupation. Recognizing the dire consequences if the weapon is allowed to spread unchecked, Lysara collaborates with the alien survivors to develop a countermeasure. The plan is risky. It involves hacking into the enemy's control system deep within the Canyon network and deploying a specialized biological agent that can neutralize the nanites without harming the fragile native ecosystem. However, this requires a strike team to infiltrate heavily guarded enemy installations, a mission fraught with danger. With the stakes mounting, Rhea selects an elite squad of Deathworlders to carry out the infiltration mission. They undergo rapid briefings and gear up with experimental protective suits and stealth tech to bypass enemy sensors. The squad leader, a grizzled veteran named Tarek Solon, inspires confidence as he rallies his team for the perilous operation. The infiltration team embarks under the cover of a violent electrical storm, slipping past patrols and navigating a labyrinth of tunnels and caverns. Despite their stealth, the enemy's advanced security systems detect their presence, triggering alarms that unleash waves of bioengineered predator reinforcements. What follows is a tense and brutal firefight where tactics and teamwork determine who survives. Meanwhile, the remaining Deathworlders hold the line, engaging in desperate battles to protect the alien survivors and maintain control over key supply routes. They improvise defenses using the planet's native flora, some of which possess toxic or adhesive properties, and deploy experimental weaponry designed for maximum effect with minimal collateral damage. As the infiltration team reaches the control core, they encounter the enemy's chief scientist, a ruthless figure intent on completing the planet's sterilization. The resulting confrontation combines intense combat with high-stakes sabotage, forcing the Deathworlders to leverage every skill they have to succeed. By the end of Part 4, the tide of battle begins to shift. The infiltration team manages to deploy the biological counteragent, halting the nanite swarm's advance. However, the cost is high. Several Deathworlders are wounded or captured, and the enemy's forces remain formidable. The fight for survival is far from over, and the Deathworlders must prepare for what promises to be the most intense phase of the mission yet. The successful deployment of the biological counteragent marks a critical turning point in the battle raging on Xyloxis. The nanite swarm's relentless spread begins to slow, and pockets of the once devastated ecosystem start showing signs of recovery. This victory injects fresh hope into the beleaguered Deathworlders and the alien survivors, but the fight is far from over. Commander Rhea Voss seizes this momentum to shift from defensive maneuvers to a more aggressive campaign. Using intelligence gathered during the infiltration mission, the Deathworlders identify key enemy strongholds and supply lines deep within the planet's Canyon network. These positions are vital to the hostile faction's control over Xyloxis and the continued operation of their bioengineered weaponry. Rhea orchestrates a coordinated series of strikes targeting these strongholds. Her strategy combines precise airstrikes by Kale Moran's squadron with ground assaults led by veteran Deathworlder squads. These attacks aim not only to disrupt enemy operations, but also to free captured comrades and alien prisoners held hostage in fortified camps. Kale's air support is crucial, flying in the volatile atmosphere under conditions that would ground most pilots. He and his wingmen execute daring maneuvers through electrical storms and volcanic ash clouds. His squadron uses advanced targeting systems to neutralize enemy artillery and provide cover fire for ground teams advancing through the treacherous terrain below. On the ground, squads adapt their tactics to the evolving battlefield. They exploit the planet's unique flora and geology to set ambushes and create defensive barriers. Some teams coordinate with alien engineers to deploy improvised traps using recovered enemy technology, turning the hostile environment itself into an ally. This synergy between human and alien forces strengthens the resolve of the survivors and solidifies their alliance. Dr. Lysara Keene continues her vital work on the ecological front, coordinating efforts to stabilize the environment. She leads teams that deploy bio-restorative agents and monitor the planet's recovering ecosystems. Lysara also investigates the enemy's remaining technological caches, searching for weaknesses that could expedite the planet's healing. Meanwhile, political pressure intensifies back at the Galactic Council. News of the Deathworlders' progress spreads, shifting public opinion and political tides. Supporters rally for increased resources and reinforcements, while opponents scramble to counter the narrative. This backdrop adds complexity and urgency to Rhea's mission, as she must balance immediate tactical needs with long-term political implications. Amidst the battles and political intrigue, personal stories unfold. The rescued aliens reveal harrowing tales of captivity and resistance, deepening the Deathworlders' commitment. Within the fleet, bonds strengthen as crew members overcome injuries and losses, their shared struggle forging an unbreakable camaraderie. However, the enemy is not defeated yet. Their commanders regroup in hidden enclaves, launching desperate counterattacks to reclaim lost ground. These assaults are marked by escalating use of bioengineered creatures and environmental sabotage, forcing the Deathworlders to remain vigilant and adaptable. In the climax of Part 5, a massive, coordinated assault targets the enemy's primary command center nestled within a volatile volcanic ridge. The battle is fierce, pushing the Deathworlders to their limits. Utilizing every resource from Kale's fearless piloting and Lysara's scientific expertise to Rhea's tactical brilliance, the Allied forces dismantle the enemy's command structure. The destruction of the command center cripples the hostile faction's ability to control their bioengineered weapon and coordinate defenses. It marks a decisive victory, turning the tide in favor of the Deathworlders and their allies. Yet as the dust settles, the survivors realize that the true challenge remains: securing Xyloxis for the alien civilization's future and preventing further threats. With the enemy's command center destroyed and their bioengineered weapon neutralized, the Deathworlders finally begin the long process of securing Xyloxis and helping the alien survivors rebuild. The planet, once a symbol of death and despair, now holds a fragile promise of hope, one that must be nurtured carefully. Commander Rhea Voss takes charge of coordinating efforts between the Deathworlders and the alien civilization, whose name is finally revealed: the Solari. The Solari are a technologically advanced yet vulnerable species, forced into this hostile Deathworld by galactic conflicts and territorial displacement. Their survival depended on bioengineered shelters and life support technology, but the recent devastation has pushed them to the brink of extinction. The first task is establishing a sustainable foothold on Xyloxis. The Deathworlders use their fleet's advanced terraforming and environmental stabilization technology to begin reversing the damage caused by the bioengineered nanites. Massive atmospheric scrubbers are deployed to filter the toxic air, and biorestorative pods release native flora carefully engineered to thrive in the recovering environment. Dr. Lysara Keene works closely with Solari scientists, blending human and Solari knowledge to accelerate ecological restoration. Together, they develop hybrid bioagents designed to enhance soil fertility, neutralize lingering toxins, and promote biodiversity. This collaboration marks a significant moment of trust and cultural exchange between the two species. As the environment stabilizes, efforts turn toward rebuilding the Solari society. The Deathworlders provide medical aid, technology transfer, and security training to help the Solari regain independence and resilience. Workshops are established to teach the Solari how to maintain and upgrade their life support systems, while engineers repair damaged infrastructure and fortify shelters against future threats. However, challenges remain. Rogue factions from the defeated enemy continue guerrilla attacks on outposts and supply lines, refusing to concede defeat. Rhea organizes patrols and rapid response teams to counter these insurgencies, ensuring that the hard-won peace is not shattered. The Deathworlders also face the daunting task of navigating political tensions within the Galactic Council, where some factions resist further investment in Xyloxis's restoration. Amid these struggles, personal stories of healing, and hope emerge. Kael'Morin, once haunted by the losses sustained in battle, finds renewed purpose in mentoring Solari pilots and helping train a new generation of defenders. Dr. Lysara Keen's partnership with Solari scientists blossoms into a profound friendship, symbolizing the unity born from shared adversity. Commander Rhea Voss reflects on the mission's journey, from the frantic rush to respond to a desperate SOS signal to the triumphant turning of a deathworld into a beacon of survival. Her leadership has inspired not only her fleet, but also the Solari, forging an alliance that promises stability and mutual support in a turbulent galaxy. The fleet remains in orbit for the time being, ready to assist if new threats emerge. But the immediate crisis is over. The Solari begin planning for a future where they can thrive on their own terms, free from the shadow of war and environmental collapse. Part 6 closes with a hopeful vision. Xyloxis's skies clearing, flora beginning to bloom, and the Solari reclaiming their place on the planet. The Deathworlders mission has transcended a simple rescue. It has become a story of resilience, cooperation, and the enduring spirit to survive against all odds.